Okay.
Come here, Zoe.
Here we go. Zoe, are you not going to be the only baby around here anymore? Hi guys. So you already know the news because it's in the title. That's the weird part about saying like hi at the beginning of this video, or like we have an announcement, because it's already in the title. So here we are.
Take it away.
Like
you already are.
Like I already am. Taking it away. So, we're gonna be parents. Crazy. Now, I have to say, I'm gonna explain a little bit as to what this means, because I am not pregnant. We are actually going to be adopting internationally, and it's kind of crazy. Now I feel like we gotta tell you like the whole story. So Dan and I, to those of you that don't know, we have been married for 10 years. We just passed our 10-year wedding anniversary in February. And the whole time we've been married, I'd say pretty much, if there was any point where I was like, give me a baby, you would have been like, okay. I mean, right?
Probably.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I get. The whole time I thought, man, if I just told him I want a kid now, he would be down to have a kid. I feel like I've really been the reason we haven't had a kid.
Well, I've never asked for one either.
That's true. But early when we were first dating, you used to tell me that you wanted to be a young dad. And I remember telling you.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Back then.
And I remember telling you, like, if that's what you want, then this is a deal breaker, because I'm not going to be a young mom. So, and it was for different reasons that it ended up kind of panning out to be. For me, it was, it turned out being my body, my chronic aches and pains just from dancing, and my hip surgery and my knee surgery. But I thought at the time it was like, I'm going to Broadway, I'm going to be doing this and that, and I can't have kids. And it just turned out like I just ended up hurting too much. Now, to kind of explain to you where we're at now is, I literally was like scrolling on Instagram one day. I don't know if you guys know who Elsie Larson is. I think her handle, it might just be Elsie Larson. I think she had a blog called A Beautiful Mess, but she just adopted internationally from China. And I was scrolling through her page, and all of a sudden it was like someone reached in my brain, flipped a switch, and I was like, I want a kid. And I want a kid now. Which the ironic part about it is I will not have a kid now, because international adoption takes time. Now granted.
Yeah, so it's like we've been married for 10 years, and you know, it's time to become parents, but we have to start this process now, because it's not, hey, you know, let's go, and 9 months from now we'll have a baby. It's 3 years, pretty much.
Potentially, that's what they're telling us. Now, granted, I've experienced enough stuff now where, like, God speeds things up. Like, I won't be surprised if our timing ends up being way faster than the average, just because I'm like, I didn't think we'd move to Nashville in the blink of an eye. I was like, the earliest we'll be there is October, and that's if it was, like, freaky fast and something crazy happened. And we ended up being here September 1st, like, crazy. So, you know, and there's a lot of variables that go into the adoption timeline, but it's the average they tell you is 2 to 3 years. So, yeah, something flipped, and I was like, why am I not doing this? To those of you that saw my tattoo video, I recently got a tattoo, and I actually think that this is part of what made the shift as well in my brain, because the verse says, I'll quote it for like the 500th time on my channel, the only religion that God our Father finds pure and faultless is to take care of orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep yourself from being polluted by the world. And the thing is, like, staring at it every day, I think, was a part of it, but having this realization, like, wait a minute, I care, he cares, we care about orphans, about kids that don't have moms and dads. And we were having this conversation today, like, am I boring you?
It's the third yawn, man.
Oh no, maybe it's not Mexican food.
Yeah, I just had a lot of tacos.
Mas tacos. So we were having this conversation today about overpopulation on the planet, and the fact that, like, that's a thing, that's a problem. And, you know, there's so many kids that don't have moms and dads, and it's just like, if I don't feel the desire to get pregnant, like, but I want to take care of a kid. Like, why do I feel the pressure? I don't need to have a kid biologically. And yeah, I feel like I'm just talking nonstop. Feel free to jump in at any point.
Yeah, well, the adoption thing has been something we both have felt strong about for a long time. The day after we got engaged, that's when her parents left to China to go pick up her little brother. So we saw how all that goes down firsthand. And they're, you know, or orphans. You know, there's a lot of kids out there without parents, and that is a problem, not just in our country but everywhere. And since that's something we feel strongly about, talk isn't going to work. We need to take action, so this is what we're doing.
Now, I feel like I also have to address a couple of like things that I know people are going to ask in the comments. First one, were we not able to get pregnant? I mean, I think maybe you can tell by me talking that was not the issue. We've actually never tried to get pregnant, so I have no idea. I specifically didn't want to, because the thought of carrying a child sounds like a literal nightmare at this point in my life. Like, carrying my own body weight is like enough right now, and I think that just growing a baby and birthing a baby, it just does, I think, a lot of irreversible stuff, and I've already got physical issues and pain that I'm like, no thanks. I can go love a kid who needs a mom and a dad, and I can love them so much. So that's the first thing.
I was fine with never having one, right?
Yeah, which I think is incredible.
If we had been in a different if you had been in a different situation, you're like, let's have a baby, I'd be like,
cool.
Okay, you know. But I'm kind of happy that it didn't go that way.
Why? What makes you say that?
I don't know. 10 years we've had a lot of time together.
Oh, you mean that it didn't happen earlier?
Yeah, and you know, everything happens for a reason, and I wasn't going to be the guy that was going to turn her down and say, no, I don't want one, even though you wanted one so bad, you know, hypothetically.
Yeah.
Or the other way around. I didn't want to beg her to have a kid when she really didn't want to have one. So, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. I think that was a good thing to throw in, because there are probably people that would have asked, like, does it bother Dan that you don't want to have? And that's another thing, is I can't say that just because we're adopting first, or I don't want to have a biological child now, means that I will never want to have a biological child. I don't know what's going to happen in the next few years. I could physically start feeling better. I could have something snap in me where all of a sudden it's like an age thing and I'm like, I don't care, I have to procreate. Like, maybe that'll happen. But at this point, I'm starting to think there's a chance I may never have a biological child. We may just adopt. We may adopt one. We may adopt two.
She's staring at the squirrels that are chasing each other around.
Zoe's favorite pastime.
So funny. A lot of people are asking, like, well, don't you want to have your own kids? And, you know, a lot of people are asking that. And
the people that we've told in real life.
I think that question comes from a curiosity, like, especially for someone that doesn't have their own kids yet, or even people that do have their own kids, but it's like, I don't have that curiosity, like, what is a little human that is half of me gonna look like, or what are they gonna look like? Are they gonna look like me, or are they gonna look like them? Like, I don't have that curiosity, so I'm not super pumped or excited to have my own kids. I don't think there's anything special about my DNA that has to happen. I
know. And I even, like, not to be too, like, high and mighty, but I almost even get a little bit, like, defensive of our future kids when people say your own kids. I'm like, call them biological kids, not your own. Like, I find myself getting all defensive because I'm like, whoever we adopt is going to be our own kid. Nobody means it that way, and I need to get off my high horse. But I find myself getting like, but they are going to be our kids. And I think the thing is, for so long, I personally thought, like, oh, I don't want to have kids just because I'm scared of pregnancy. Like, stop being scared. Even still, I think the fear is, like, justified a little bit because of all of the pain that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. But I'm starting to realize, like, oh my gosh, it may not just be a fear thing. this is our story. And like, there is a kid or multiple kids out there that are going to be our kids. And we're like, our passions as a couple, we're really passionate about, as you guys know if you've been watching for a while, human trafficking, slavery, the fact that that is still a thing and there are more slaves alive today than any other point in history. Not okay. And then 2, adoption. Like, people don't even know, because Dan, like, in some ways is very private, and I know and see a different side of him than other people. They don't realize, like, he is passionate about adoption. He watches these videos with me. He gets excited. And so I've had to explain to some people, like, no, like, I'm not forcing him to do anything. You don't understand. He is just as excited. And he sees these little kids, and we're just like, oh my gosh, so cute. So I didn't put words in your mouth, right? I feel weird, like, talking for you.
Yeah, and not everybody has the heart for adoption, and not everybody could see another person, even like a different skin color than theirs, being their child and feeling like that is their child. But when someone grows up as an adopted kid, they don't have any other parents other than their adopted parents.
Yeah. So what are you trying to say about that?
I lost my train of thought.
Well, I guess jumping on your train of thought, agreeing with you, is that that's exactly it. Everyone's got a different call. Mm-hmm. So, you know, realizing like, oh, that might be our call, you know, just like how I turn down charity things that don't have to do with human trafficking, because it's like my life isn't dedicated to, I hate the word charity, but that's how we'll classify it, isn't just dedicated to charity. That is a part of my life. And I know that for that part, it's like, this is the cause I care about. I care about slavery. And it doesn't mean that that's a more important cause than another cause. It's like everybody's called to different things. And we're just like thinking and realizing the older we get, like, oh, so that's what we feel called to do. That's our cause. And yeah, having my brother, like, definitely deeply impacted both of us, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that my parents followed that call on their life, because even though this is something I've dreamed about since I was little, I think a lot of people dream about it, but doing it, I heard someone compare this in a YouTube video. It's like having, like, dreaming about a vacation home versus actually getting a vacation home. It's like a lot of people think about it, not everybody does it. And the fact that my parents did it and we got to see it and they listened to God and made it happen, it's like, now we have the chutzpah, like, we can do this. We can make this happen. So,
we're hoping this whole journey inspires other people to do the same. Do you want to talk about the country?
Yeah, so, okay, a lot of people, I feel like another question people will ask, we actually, to tie into what you said, exactly, that is a big reason we're going to share the process. I don't know to what extent. I mean, all of this, like, I'm scared to share. I'm excited to share even this video, but I'm a little nervous at the same time because this is our family we're building. But I do think that there are so many kids that need a mom and a dad. And I think that if we can help kind of show you what it's like, and you can, I don't know if it's through osmosis is the word, but like feel more comfortable, if we can help inspire, I feel like that's a weird word, but we'll call it that, someone to move forward in a direction they're feeling called, because it's like, okay, I can do this, I'm seeing this, then that would make us just feel so excited. So,
well, I never grew up like a girl would grow up dreaming of her wedding day or, you know, having kids. I mean, I don't know how many guys dream of that, but
your face.
I never grew up, you know, wondering what my kids were going to be like or anything like that.
I didn't either.
But I had friends growing up that were adopted, but I didn't see how that whole process went down. And then your parents getting Casey, I got to see the whole thing, and it's like, you know, just because he's adopted, he's like fully a member of the family as much as you are.
Yeah.
So that's why I got excited about adopting.
Yeah, because you got to, so when we started the adoption, when my parents started the adoption process, they were originally going to adopt domestically, which was the next point that I was going to address. And I think, if I understand the story right, they kind of got denied because in the interview, there were a couple reasons, but one of the reasons was that in the interview, I told the adoption agent that I was scared I wasn't going to love my adoptive sibling as much as my birth siblings. And looking back, I'm like, well, that's stupid. I think that that's probably what everybody is afraid of who's never been a part of adoption before. Like, I was so in touch with my emotions. But so they ended up having to go internationally for that and a list of some other reasons. And they adopted from China. But I know a lot of people are like, going to wonder, why aren't you adopting from your own country? And when we had talked about this for previous years, that was really Dan's stance too. Like, well, let's adopt here. There's a lot of need in our country. But here's the thing. I'm just going to be really, really honest.
And there's a lot of need everywhere.
That's actually the bottom line, is like what makes our country so special. Kids are needed, like kids need help everywhere. So that's kind of the bottom line. But there's also other reasons, just being really honest. We have known a few people that have adopted domestically, and the few that we've known, it hasn't gone well for them. It's really, really sad, and I hope and I pray that one day the American adoption system is adjusted. Don't know how that's going to go down. But, one couple we know, they had their kids taken away from them after like 4 years. Another couple that I know, they sometimes will hide out in their house because they'll think that they see the adoptive, or the birth mother out in the town, and she's going to approach them, because she has in the past, freaking out at them.
Well, they've been, legal trouble, and, them trying to get the kids back. Because I guess America is like, we're not about tearing families apart, but if someone's adopted into a family and then the birth parents are off drugs or out of jail or whatever, then they are tearing a family apart and putting those children back in a situation that's not very good.
So it ends up being a lot
apparently that's better in the government's eyes, but that's a thing that happens. And if you adopt internationally, you get to avoid all of that, those what ifs.
When it's done, it's done. They're your kid. And
even also you're giving someone from another country a shot at being an American. Because lots of people...
Because America's awesome!
You really do have different opportunity being here than anywhere else. So.
Yeah. And anyone that's watching internationally, side note, I instantly got nervous. That's not a slam to any other country. But there are a lot of countries where they're not necessarily going to have the same opportunity. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, it's more finalized when you adopt internationally, that it's like their parents aren't going to show up at your kid's birthday party like, oh good, you're clean and sober now for a week and you just showed up to the birthday party out of nowhere. Like, you're fighting to take the kid back. It's like, I'm trying to make a kid my kid too. This kid's trying to get a stable home environment. And I just think that's a lot harder with certain situations domestically. Wait, there was something else I was going to say. Oh, that being said, like my parents, they're planning on taking Casey back to China within the next 2 years. And on top of that, they are running tests, like DNA tests, not only to really figure out his history, like genetically, but also if his birth parents are listed anywhere. So it's not a matter of like keeping them away from their birth parents. It's a matter of like, okay, well, if we're going to adopt you, then let's adopt you. Let's have you be my kid for the stability and for the sake of the whole family unit. The kid, us, like let's cocoon. Let's be a family.
That would probably be really weird for Casey. Like if he had the opportunity to, visit China where
my
he
parents
was born,
are going to take him
where
back
he
to the
could
orphanage.
have grew up, but then to actually have a chance to meet up with his birth parents at a restaurant or something like
what
that.
What a trip.
That would feel really weird. And then, bye. I guess, see you on Facebook.
Isn't that a trip? Did you hear what I said, though? They're going to take him back to the orphanage to see,
really?
like, where he came from.
Okay.
Yeah. So, next thing. Where are we adopting from, and where are we in the process? So,
We're in the very, very beginning process.
Yeah. We've turned in about 2 rounds of paperwork, and I'm shipping off the 3rd round of paperwork tonight. I've had 1 phone call by myself. We've had 2 phone calls together. We're in the process of being approved by our country of choice, which
is
Thailand. So,
and we've been there before, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's also cool because the main organization that we support, anti-human trafficking organization, it's called Zoe Children's Homes. They're based in Thailand, and my dad has actually been there before to visit the home where they rescue children and rehabilitate them, and all of that jazz. It's a safe place for them. We've never been there before, so actually, assuming that Thailand approves us, we will probably end up going early and visiting the home, like Zoe Children's Home. So we were originally going to apply to China, and I just want to be honest. Let me actually back up. Part of what's scary about sharing all of this is I have no idea how much is going to change as we go. I also don't know, like, are we going to get denied from places? Like, what is even going to happen? I'm kind of embarrassed, like, if I share and then we get denied from one country and I have to move on to the next. But I was talking to my friend Emily, who also helps me with editing videos, and she was telling me, she's like, you know what? You share the process. Like, if you get denied and you have to switch countries, then you get denied and you switch countries. We'll just take it one step at a time. But yeah, currently we're trying to get approved for Thailand. Now I'm going to be really honest with you, just because part of sharing this is wanting to just be open with you guys. Originally, we thought we were going to go through China, because I thought, oh, how cool, like we could have another Chinese person in the family. And when we started looking at the program, basically a lot has changed with international adoption over the years. And the first woman I spoke with at Holt International, which is the adoption agency we're using, basically told me that because China has expanded their policy, it used to be one kid only. Now it's like 2-ish kids. It's more lax. Pretty much every kid that is in the orphanage has high special...
Well, they're also adopting
yes.
into China, and so...
Yeah, the adoption, the view of adoption has changed within their country. A lot of people...
More people from China are adopting in China.
And I think this is happening all over the world. People's idea of adoption is changing. It's not looked down upon now. It's becoming something that people want to do. So because of that, they said that most of the kids in the orphanage in China are high special needs. So here's the deal. Pretty much, and that's happening in a lot of places all over the world, the likelihood of getting a child that has lower special needs or is, you know, completely healthy is much better in a country like Thailand or Korea or even Haiti. But that being said, you know, with Thailand, we have a gender preference. We're going for a girl, ages like 1 to 3. We actually have her name picked too if we get her. Should I say it?
No.
No? Should I save that for another video?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll save that for another video. We have the boy and the girl's name picked. So we're going for a girl.
And what's interesting is, you know, the kids between 2 and 3, when you get them,
yeah,
and they're placed, that's about how long the paperwork takes. So they could be born at any minute.
Yeah, they literally could. They could be born any minute. So, wait, what was I saying? Thailand. Oh, but you can't, you have to be open to either gender in Thailand. So it's going to be just like pregnancy. We're going to be like, all right, we don't really know what we're getting. And then the whole special needs thing, it's heart-wrenching to say, oh, I don't want to go for a kid with special needs. Makes you feel like a horrible person. That being said, I do think people are equipped for different things.
Well, I've met an incredible family a couple of years ago, and that's all they do. I don't know the number, but it's like close to 20 or...
So they like run their own mini orphanage,
They've
basically.
adopted a lot of kids, but they only adopt like super special needs kids, and a lot of the time, most of the time, the kids don't survive, but that is super hard, but that's what this family's calling is. And you know, there's lots of people like that, and you know, everyone's different. But yeah.
Yeah. That being said, I've also watched videos where parents show up to the orphanage and then they find out that their kid has a special need. And so the thing is, we're open. Like, I really...
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. I mean, you don't know with your own birth kid. Like, what are they gonna come out like? What's the gender? Are they gonna have high special needs? So both of us we really just believe that whatever God has for us, He has for us. Like, you know, let it be. Whatever it's going to be, and He will equip us and it'll be amazing, and that's going to be our life. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're not revealing the names that we have yet, I think that's probably it, huh?
I think so. Little Mama Philippi. Almost.
Almost. Dad. A dad. It's so crazy, man. I'm tripping out.
We just got the mom car a couple days ago.
Oh yeah, we're about to go film that video. We're gonna film car tours because we never filmed the Raptor when we got it, and then we just got like a new, like a mom car. So I'm so excited. That's pretty much it. I feel like I could just keep going and going and going because all my time has consisted of watching like every single Gotcha Day video on the internet, every single adoption video. I've watched all these documentaries. I can't stop watching them. I'm really excited.
Not all those Gotcha Day videos are very good.
Yeah.
Ours is gonna be good.
Ours is gonna be epic.
Because I wanna have that to be able to show to the little person, you know, this was your birthday, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
I think my parents and my little brother are gonna come to Thailand, and then I was talking to Shayna yesterday, and she's like, I want to go if I can afford it. Because yeah, we may not, like I said, we may not have biological kids. This might be the kid experience. And Shayna actually has her sister-in-law and brother-in-law live in Thailand because they're working at Zoe Children's Homes. So yeah. Anyways, I'm just prolonging saying bye because I'm so excited. So thank you guys for all the love and the support, and I'm so excited for this next chapter and to be sharing everything with you guys. Like I said, nervous because being vulnerable is a little nerve-wracking, but mostly just excited. And I feel like I've been on the verge of tears this whole video.
I think we'll document the whole process, right?
Mm-hmm.
The good thing is you know, parts of some of the reasons that can slow the process down is not getting all this paperwork that you got to do in time. And I didn't have my birth certificate, and that was going to delay this like 3 weeks, but it turns out I don't need to give them my birth certificate yet to get started. So
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, so we're gonna be able to turn in that third round tonight without it, and start booking our home study stuff. So that being said, also let me know in the comments just videos you would like to see around the topic, around adoption, because I want to keep you guys updated, but I'm not fully sure which videos to make, what to tell you guys about. I want to be informative, especially for people who are interested in adoption. I'm just not sure how to navigate all of this because, you know, 7 years into YouTube, I've never done any of this. So, all right, we should let him go now, huh?
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Bye.